Joseph Hana and William Barbera presided over a cartoon empire that was full to the brim of cartoon characters that dominated the animation scene back in the day. This animation televisual domination was down to a few things, like the studio's new approach to utilising limited animation techniques to cut down the cost and production in their shows. This process involved holding a pose for longer on the rostrum camera and animating only a few parts of the character on the animation cell. However, this wasn't the only technique implemented, as there is of course the ever infamous repeating background cycle that is often lampooned by other shows. By using this limited animation technique, the studio would be able to create an avalanche of cartoon characters for the telly, spanning 2 decades, and this was partly due to one successful character gaining a lot of popularity at the time. This was down to the runaway success of Yogi Bear, who first appeared in the Huckleberry Hound show in 1958. He proved so much more popular than the Blue Hound that he would go on to become the face of the generation for the Hana Barbera multiverse, becoming a leading star of the entire Hana Barbera hat and collar wearing Saturday morning cartoon champions that would become synonymous with the Hana Barbera brand. The Laugh Olympics, Yogi Bear's Space Race, Yogi's Gang, and my favourite, and the one that was at the very end of it all, Yogi Bear's Treasure Hunt. They all starred Yogi and his many other Hana Barbera cartoon stars like Huckleberry Hound, Peter Potamus, and many more. There were so many new cartoon stars that the studio was making in its prime that I'm fairly confident in saying that there's as many classic Hana Barbera cartoon all-star characters as there are Pokemon. You could probably make a poke rap with them. Are you ready to count down with the Hana Barbera rap, kids? Because here we go, folks. Get ready. There's over 150 of these guys. Quick Draw McGraw, Dick Dastardly and Muttley, Yogi Bear, Jabberjaw, Boo Boo, Top Cat, Peter Potamus, Wallygator, Snagglepuss, Rough and Ready, and you get the idea of that. No, I'm not carrying on. No, look, if you want me to continue doing it, then consider donating to my Patreon, links in the description. Now, I'm not going to go in full about the studio's history, as there's far more experienced people than I that have documented the history of the Hana Barbera studio. Look, I'll leave a link to a couple of videos that document the studio's history in far more detail, and you can check them out after this video. Links in the description and all that. But my point is, there's a ton of animated cartoon characters that Hana Barbera released, and Yogi Bear was the champion of them all. However, as history has shown, not all empires last forever, as the Hana Barbera empire came to a crushing fall in the 90s as it all collapsed, and the final Hana Barbera cartoon spin-off was Yo Yogi. Whew, what a sad note to go out on. It's not all bad though, as Cartoon Network would grow out of the Hana Barbera studio and create new cartoon IPs that are all classics. However, Yogi and his cartoon cohorts would fall into obscurity and become relics of the animated past, only to be pulled back into the limelight to be parodied by the likes of John Kricfalusi, and parodied even better by Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. A brilliant show, by the way, go watch later. And well, really, apart from that, all these cartoon stars just faded for an age. But now, in the modern era, in the age of reboots, when HBO-Max has taken Yogi and his exhaustive cartoon cast back out of the animation vaults and reintegrated them into the modern world of cartoon telly with a new series released in 2021 called Jellystone. Jellystone is a new reimagining of the Hana Barbera classic characters under the direction of C.H. Greenblatt. You might know him on the animation scene as the creator of Cartoon Network's legendary show Chowder and Harvey Beaks for Nickelodeon. And if you like those shows and the humour that he brings to those cartoons, then you know Jellystone is going to be a fun show with some excellent humour. Greenblatt grew up with these cartoons and has a lot of respect for the Hana Barbera franchise, and he has reinstalled new life to these old classic characters, while they still retain their old core identities, but offering something new to the modern day that would make the characters appeal to a new generation of cartoon watchers.
What did you do to me? Oh, what is this, you crazy voodoo witch? No.
Jellystone's premise is simple. It's a town named after the iconic Jellystone Park from the Yogi Bear cartoons. The Jellystone town is a quaint one where all the characters from the Hana Barbera cartoon universe live, and all these silly crazy events happen around them every day.
Oh yeah, the grocery store is an incredibly dangerous place.
Yeah, it sure is, Dad of mine. What
Whatever would I do without you?
Oh, you don't need to worry about that, honey. You're never gonna get rid of me.
All the old characters have been given new life again, and they feel like they have been lovingly handled with care with Greenblatt's new ideas. He's not lent too far in the direction of making the characters' personalities drastically different enough that you can't tell who the characters were originally. A new coat of paint has been used to bring these characters back. Gone is the static stiff poses of the limited animation era, and now in its place is a modernised, animated, more simplified, yet mainstream look that breathes new life into the cast, making them both easily recognisable to the original counterparts, but also fit in with the mainstream young audiences. They look old and yet new, and it works magnificently. Also, I adore good background art in animation, and Jellystone has it. It has a beautifully rendered little cartoon town with wonderful colours and shops and stores for all the Jellystone residents to live and work in. Speaking of, the residents of Jellystone now have their own jobs and roles in the town that suit them quite well. Huckleberry Hound is the mayor of
You see,
Jellystone.
I hear your concerns. I also occasionally hear ghosts. Huh?
Yogi is a doctor, as is Boo Boo his assistant, and Cindy is also a super scientist and nurse.
You saved me!
It's what we do, for we are the doctors of Jellystone Hospital.
Also, here's your bill for $10,000.
Magilla Gorilla runs a clothing store with Jabberjaw and Loopy Wolf as his store assistants. Snagglepuss is the TV host and news presenter for the town, and it all works quite well, bringing this little Hana Barbera Toontown to life. Not only has there been updates to the looks of the characters, but there's also been some gender swapping as well, which in honestly is a good decision, as my main complaint with the original Hanna-Barbera cartoon cast was the fact that there wasn't enough female variety in their cartoon all-star selection. Jellystone fixes that by altering the gender of quite a few characters. Jabberjaw, Loopy Wolf, Oggy Doggy, Yacky Doodle, and Squiddly Diddly are just a few of the brand new gender changes that work in the show's favour. Now there's probably some die-hard purists out there who probably say that this isn't the right thing to do, but I disagree. These are good character changes that are well implemented and still adds more to the characters themselves. I like seeing Jabberjaw as a boy-obsessed girl. Squiddly Diddly, who I could not stand as a kid, now works so much better as a fashionista trendsetter that works as a fantastic rival to Magilla Gorilla across the street, who also has a passion for fashion. I'll take this new Squiddly Diddly over the old one any day of the week. And then you have Oggy, who was originally Doggy Daddy's little boy, who was doted on by his ever-loving father, but now he is a she, and a lot more likeable as a Daddy's little princess type girl. She's sweet and charming and a vast improvement of the original Oggy.
Augie, no, you cannot take a wild animal like this. Come on. Luckily we should have some time to return it to its nest before...
And that is just one of the strengths of Jellystone. It changes the characters to be more likeable. I mean, I used to dislike the Funky Phantom as well, but in Jellystone, he's a pro wrestler, and that's a great take on the character. Certainly he's not just another boring Snagglepuss but dead clone solving mysteries, rather he's a funny and interesting character who loves avocados and likes to throw down in the ring. So much more fun. Now if I was to find a fault or minor criticism with Jellystone, it would be with El Kabong. It's not like I don't like what they do with him. I mean, I do enjoy him being the town's resident superhero, acting like a Batman of sorts. I just think they should really play into it and have regular old Quick Draw McGraw as the town's teacher by day, and then he becomes a crime-fighting mass vigilante El Kabong at night. Really play with that Batman Bruce Wayne dynamic. Apart from that, I can't really complain so much as Jellystone works very well. It's nice that Yogi Bear himself isn't constantly the centre stage in every episode. I mean, he is in it a lot and is one of the most central characters in the show, and he does get a lot of laughs out of me. But they use Yogi just enough so that it doesn't become yet another Yogi Bear show again. Every character in Jellystone gets a spotlight episode, and each one is fantastic. It's fun to tune in and see who and what part of the town is going to be the focus of today, and sometimes it utilises the entire town and brings them all together in one episode, so they all get the spotlight. Now, if I did have to choose a favourite new character, I would say Top Cat is the best. I really like his update. I like his anything for money persona, and his updated gang are a treat, and also taking the internet by storm. A lot of fan art for these new guys. I mean, sure, they're a little different from his gang of boys in the 60s, and some of them, like Choo Choo, Brain and Spook, have been gender swapped. Again, no biggie, it works in their favour.
Yes, this looks like an ordinary can of spray paint, but it's actually a special chemical repellent called Bacoffiton. And as you can see, I'm completely protected. Luckily for you fine folks, I have a whole case of these for sale for only $500 a case.
Top Cat's new voice is fantastic, and it's akin to the original, but it feels new. It works great, and every Top Cat episode is a winner. Now, going back to voices for a second, Jellystone has a fantastic new range of talents to bring these stars to life, with Jeff Bergman delivering a very good Dawes Butler-like impression. It's very impressive and an easy fit for the new Yogi incarnation. He does Dawes proud.
I never heard a kid.
I'm off duty.
There's also Dana Snyder on board as the new voice of Snagglepuss, which he absolutely takes ownership of. He's a perfect Snagglepuss and fits like a glove even.
Look like the goddess Pele descended to Earth to incinerate us all. You make me want to throw up so hard, I turn inside out and die.
But Snagglepuss isn't the only role that he does. He also voices Touche Turtle and makes him sound just adorable.
Funky Phantom, you're under arrest for unlawful use of ghost power.
No! You'll never take me alive!
It really is great to see the old Hana Barbera characters back out of retirement with new life instilled into them again. There's so many characters in this show from series so obscure that I don't even know where half of them even come from. It would be nice to see a few more of the human characters, but they are sprinkled in here and there, with Johnny Quest making a cameo, as well as Ranger Smith appearing briefly in some episodes. In all, Jellystone is a perfect reboot that has brought back the Hanna-Barbera cartoon stars with revigorated animation life, and made me realise just how much I like these old cartoon stars. The episodes are well written, funny and very enjoyable, and there's plenty of good ones to watch. A couple of my favourite ones would be these ones in particular: The Grocery Store, Cats Do Dance, Gotta Kiss Them All, Jelly Wrestle Rumble, The Big Stink, The Sea Monster of Jellystone Cove, Pants, and Boo Boo and Benny Little Buddy Trouble. Jellystone is an amazing reboot that respects its source material and does things right. It's worth watching. It has a lot of great gags, charm and character. In fact, I can proudly say that Jellystone is better than your average reboot. The good news is Jellystone has been renewed for a season 3 with a further 40 episodes, so it's great to hear that we get to return to Jellystone soon. Much like you get to return to my channel with another video very soon. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe and all that fun stuff. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ra!